So I'm doing this video blog, I guess they call them vlogs, right? On part of what came up on my money challenge. So 50 some days ago, I started a 100-day challenge for myself to shift my money mindset. I knew it was a big player in me moving forward, in doing whatever I wanted to do. And I cannot believe how many things have come up. Now, there was a lot in the beginning. It was just like just boom, 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 boom. They're starting to space out a little bit now, but the ones that are coming now are like doozies. They're big. They're big. So I want to just share with you a little bit about how I've been going through this process and how I move through it to shift what I'm coming up with, and how so much of it relies on or relates to our emotional body. So I'll just tell you what happened last night and what came up for me. So a friend of mine and I were talking about relationships, and she was talking about getting into relationship coaching. And we were talking about the difference between being a boyfriend, girlfriend, and being married, and the level of expectations. And all of a sudden that word expectations just was like red flagged me, right? And part of that was because there was a lot of people that I had been working with lately, and I was getting very frustrated at their level of action that they wanted to do. Like, they were taking in information, but they weren't doing action. And it was just person after person after person. And I was finding the people in my household, I was getting very frustrated with people like my own family and their level of taking action. And so when she said the word expectations, it just, boom, it hit me like crazy. So I took that word and I went into meditation, and I started to think about what the expectation word meant for me. And what came up for me was, when I was younger, I had a parent who was very particular and had a lot of expectations, and very much a soul that loved to do it their way, and it had to be done their way. And if it wasn't done their way, they would go back and redo it, right? So over time, you as a child just decide, you know what? I can't live up to your expectations, so I'm just going to underperform or just not do it. And so with this realization, oh gosh, I just went right off my chair. But with this realization came this idea that I understood that there was a level of me deep inside that didn't feel loved if I wasn't meeting somebody's expectations. I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel appreciated. I didn't feel like I had value if I couldn't meet those expectations. And so I just pulled in, underperformed, and a lot of times I would be mad at other people when they weren't doing my expectations, right? This is how we use other people to give us clues. When we're mad at other people for not doing the things we want to do, it's always us on some level. So I went in, and what I do is I go in and I purposely state that I want to release those particular beliefs, and I restate what I want to feel now. So my statements are, I am safe to not meet expectations. I am safe to not to feel I'm safe to be loved, valued, honored, to if without meeting anybody's expectations. I am safe if I don't meet not one person's expectations. So I went in there and I just say it and say it and say it. Now, personally, I have this moment where my body, I've done this so many times, I just know when it's sort of locked into my body. There's just something I feel that's like, yep, you got it. But for other people, they just have to say it often, write it, sing it. They just have to keep issuing the statement that they want until it starts to take over. But the interesting thing that happened was, later that night, somebody had asked me if I had decided what I wanted to start charging for coaching. And I thought, well, no, I really hadn't. And I said, because I'm still creating it. I'm still letting it sculpt, right? And so I laid in bed and I thought to myself, with the one thought as I'm sitting here kind of mulling this over, I heard myself say, oh boy, I can't charge more because people will expect more. And I was like, whoa, that's huge. Like, I had no idea I was running that tape in my program. And then I started to think about all the different areas I've done that. I've been in the entrepreneurial business for the last 15 years. And I've always undercharged for myself. I've always undercharged for my classes. And I can specifically think of key moments when I even had that thought, like, oh, I can't charge more, because I was worried about what people's expectations. Like, I was scared to rise to the occasion. And now I understand why, because there was this level way down deep that said, if you can't meet somebody's expectations, you're not worthy. And so this is how the emotional body and us get to play together and understand each other. And we find these clues. And when you find those clues, it's a gratefulness, because this is where you get to shift out of these old habits and these old beliefs, and you get to move forward. So this is what happened just like today, last night. And so I'm really excited, because this was a big one for me. This is where I noticed that I just couldn't move forward in understanding what I was going to charge, because there was this push and pull of, well, what am I worth? And oh my gosh, if I charge more, there's going to be these expectations. And if I have to meet people's expectations, oh my gosh, that's scary. Like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'll be worthy or loved or valued. So these were big things for me. So I go in, I reprogram my belief systems, and then I move forward. And I can always tell where I'm at, because whenever we change our belief systems, when we understand our emotional body, we go in, we change our belief systems, more than likely, we are going to have something in our experience that will test that. And will say, do you really believe this? And so if you sail through that smoothly, yeah, you got it locked down. But if there's some pushback, or if there's some resistance there, you just go back in and keep making that belief solid until you sail through it without any issues. So anyway, there you go. This is day, I think, number 54 of my 100 days of loving money. And it's also the beginning of my launching of emotional coaching. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope that was helpful. And I'll do more of these later.